All right. So, hey guys, welcome back to the Create Podcast. I'm Jacob Selman. Today we have a photographer for the most recent project for F14, Joe Teklu here. And so we're going to talk really just about, Joe and the project that's coming up and stuff and kind of the whole process for it. So really to begin with though, like photography wise, how did you get into photography? Was that more of like something high school that you kind of stuck with, or was it just like that's always been there or?
Um, I was always, I guess, infatuated with the camera.
Mhm.
Like whenever I remember like being in middle school and stuff. Um, I would run errands with my mom and stuff, go to Best Buy, Target, whatever. And I would always go to the camera aisle for some reason. Just play around with the cameras. I also remember my Instagram and stuff. Um, I would have like pictures of like the sunrise, sunset, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I would go to school. My homies would be like, "Bro, why is your Instagram like that?" Always making fun of me and shit. But like, yeah, I mean, I was always into capturing life.
Mhm.
Like that's just always been a thing that I've been into.
Yeah, it stuck out. I mean, even like
Yeah,
your Instagram too. Like, I feel like it's even like now too. It's just so much of your Instagram. I feel like is that like all this like you pictured like the other day you had in Instagram the you on the train. Like the
yeah,
pictures looked sick. Like it looked like you were going crazy speed and stuff. And it was like it's stuff like that where it's like I feel you're detailing your life, but you're doing it in a way where it looks so aesthetically pleasing. Like the way like picture was shot, it just looked dope because it was like the train was going so fast and stuff, and it's just
right.
I don't
You
know.
see the tunnel,
Yeah,
like
it just goes. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's funny too. You're saying that your friends would goof you about like the sunset and sunrise posts because I feel like social media wise too. I feel like there's always like a stigma where you have to post specific. Like it has to be like just your life or something like that. But I
right.
feel like if you're like an artist like yourself, you want to kind of show what you like have to offer, I guess, in that sense. And there's so much. There shouldn't be as many limits for like Instagram and stuff like that for what you can do and stuff. So no, it's awesome. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
Um, I don't know, like being in high school and stuff, especially in like the social media realm, everyone's like influenced to just stick to this one way of doing things.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
if you're that one person who goes out of that, structured line that everyone's
Mm.
like focused on doing, everyone's like looking at you as like the weirdo or
Yeah, in
whatever.
a
But
funny
like,
way. Ugh.
you
Yeah,
know,
I know what you mean.
you're
Well, that's
just
why it's funny you said that because that's why like when I think of like F14 wise, like the main reason Ethan and I kind of wanted to do that was it was supposed to be always like a safe haven for that. Where like all these like artists and stuff who like I think Pace, especially the nice thing about it, or just like the people at least that we met there and stuff, they have like a very similar, I guess, mind in that sense where I feel like we're all kind of like a little bit of the weirdos that were in high school and like that I had these awesome like ideas and stuff, but we just, like being in college now, it just like or being wherever we are now, it's so much easier in the city to kind of express that. And I feel like F14 wise, we like that was our main goal where like we can get all you guys to kind of like come together and create awesome like material and stuff like that. And that's honestly too like F14 wise, like what did it stand out to you to work with us, or was it more like because you obviously could do so much stuff independently, and I guess like we wanted to come to you because the stuff we saw that you make, it's so unique. Where I feel like I don't know, it's like it very represents you and your creative craft and stuff. But how was that experience though, F14 wise? I guess like that whole kind of working together with that, collaborating in that sense.
um like you said, like just being surrounded by creative minds and being around people that don't really talk down but like
Mhm.
support you and your thoughts. Um it's just something a creative artist needs to be around. Like that environment, like the environment you're in
Yeah.
has to be a positive one for you to make
Mhm.
good shit.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
and I feel like um F14 just has that, like uh we got Danny, like
Mhm.
talented singer, got um actors, like all of that. And then we have on top of that, we got you, we got Ethan,
Nah.
like doing all that marketing, all the
Mhm,
behind the scenes stuff.
mhm.
So it's just like
Yeah.
I thought it would be a great move to join you guys because
Mhm.
I don't know, I just love what you guys are doing here.
Yeah, I appreciate. Well, even like that's why I'm so excited, dude, for when the photos come out and stuff, and the whole gallery shows, because it's just like it's so awesome. I feel like every project we do, and obviously the yours too, is just like after like we get all the material or whatever to like release it and stuff. It's just the coolest feeling to be like, yeah, you know, everyone could see this. They just go to this one spot and everyone could check out, you know, the art that you made and stuff. But obviously being in that environment though too, like creative environment, were there any like artists like mainstream wise that you always stuck with in terms of inspiring you and like how you kind of created your work? And it doesn't have to be photographers; it could really be anyone. You know, just that kind of motivated you to keep doing what you're doing in terms of creative work.
One person in oh my fault, so let me open the door.
No, you're good.
One person in specific. Hmm. Andrew D. Wagner.
Andrew, I
He's
don't think I
a
know
he's
Andrew
a
D. Wagner.
Brooklyn-based street photographer.
Okay.
Um, I've just been looking at his work and just been hella inspired, honestly. Um, Other people like Arnold Daniel.
Mhm.
He's a very popular photographer in New York City.
Yeah.
Um,
And do you see
yeah,
yourself
like
too, kind of like putting like what they do in terms of like how their photos turn out? Do you see yourselves like do you like even like not knowingly like you do a photo, whatever you edit and stuff, and you're like, oh shit, this like it looks very similar to what they may have done or something like that. And like that inspiration is so there.
yeah.
Um,
The- for example, like I watch a lot of interviews
mhm,
um these people do. And I see their photos and the way they um just break down why they took the specific photo and like what it means to them.
mhm,
Um you just learn so much. Like for example, I remember I remember oh fuck. I remember Andrew D. Wagner.
mhm,
He took this one picture with um these couples, and it was just a series of couples just holding hands.
mhm.
Like it's just simple stuff like that, like taking a picture and like invoking like certain feelings
Yeah, and how
and
that kind of
like
works. Yeah,
like stuff, just simple stuff like that, like
yeah.
is um what I think is my fault. I'm so bad at these.
No, don't even worry
um
about it because that's. I mean, even like, I feel like every what's interesting too. I think especially with photography is like every photo you do, like it makes like the ones that we have this project, for example, right? The ones that you did, like there's, I think there's like 17, 20, whatever the number is. They're all. What's interesting though is like they all make this one giant collage kind of piece, but like each individual photo kind of shows one specific, like it has like its own, I don't know, invocation to what it's speaking about. Like each photo is so distinct in that, where they all come together to create this collage, but like each photo you shot or whatever, they each kind of tell their own separate story from this fragment from this giant collage. That I think is really cool. And that's what unique actually photography, it seems like. Because I feel like with you know, with music and stuff, or like with a movie or something like that, it's such a big piece and they all like tell this one central theme. But I feel like with the
Mhm.
photography, you have separate photos and all that. And each one kind of tells their own distinct story. So but that's what I definitely I think at least with the photos that you got, especially, I think that was my big takeaway in terms of that, where they all kind of told some separate, unique form of I don't know, some story, which is really cool. But
Right.
and in terms like of the photos too, anyway, like that the process of you going through like at least with this specific projects, did you kind of like do it? Did you have like a whole like concrete agenda of like how you're going to take these photos, or was it more like you just had your like camera during, you know, hanging out with these people and stuff, and you're like, I'm just gonna take these shots, you know, whenever it looks the best, whenever they can, you know.
um Whenever I try to like whenever I think about it too much
Mhm,
and try to like plan out shots, it always ends up being like I don't want to force it, you know.
Yeah, because
Just
forcing it doesn't make it.
that's
Yeah, I feel that.
right. Like I try to just whatever looks good
Mhm.
uh to my like I guess I just built um how do I say this? I guess I just built an eye for
Okay.
what looks good
Yeah, like you kind
in
of
that
know,
frame, you
yeah, like
know?
what makes sense and what doesn't. You kind of have a knack for that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being able to shoot photos like every day, just that that knowledge just compiles.
Mhm.
And as of now, it's just like I used to be so structured.
Yeah.
My like concepts, my shoots used to be so structured, but like now it's just like whatever feels good, whatever looks good, whatever you think is gonna look good,
Mhm.
do it. You know,
Yeah.
just go get that shot.
No, that's a
And
great way of kind of looking at it too, especially,
right.
yeah.
And
Because I
like
think, no, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, you go, you go.
I was just saying, like, like creative wise, at least, I think even myself, I noticed too, the more you notice yourself structuring things so like concretely, and the more like it feels forced. Like it doesn't feel like that creative juice is gonna come out the best way it
Right.
can. It's gonna feel too structured. And then at that point, it's like you kind of step back and you're like, why? Like you could have like if it was more free, you don't feel restrained with what you can do creatively. But I feel like once you put restrictions on that, it limits what you can do. So
Exactly.
yeah, but I don't know.
You said it best.
No, that's why um I think with this project too, F14 wise, it was literally where we just wanted to give you kind of like a criteria of like what we like we want to really definitely wanted to see Gen Z experiences and lives in the city and stuff, and kind of like partying and hanging out. And just giving you that baseline, and then you kind of doing what you can photography wise. It just like it honestly, I think that was our big thing where we didn't want to have really restrictions at all with what you did, because I think each artist is so different in the sense where um, one way of doing things can be very different for another person, like how they kind of do their whole creative process and stuff like that. And so by letting you do whatever like your process is, and just giving you like, hey, we want these photos about this and all that, it worked perfectly. Like it went so well after like what you sent us the photo wise too. And even not to be like, because I don't want to give too much away about the photos like are like look like specifically and all that stuff now. But I think the big thing about the photos they're on black and white. But so in terms of photography wise, what was your main reasoning for at least doing them in black and white? Was that like something like do you usually like that's your go-to more, or is it kind of like it just seemed aesthetically it'd make the most sense for this kind of group of work?
Um, I guess it's because everyone's shooting in color.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, okay, how do I how do
Separation
I
of that.
try to be different without doing too much, you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, black and white film. Never really shot that,
Mhm.
so why don't I give it a try? Gave it a try, fell in love with it, and then I started to notice things about black and white film, especially
Mhm.
like shooting patterns. Like somebody could have a flannel t-shirt on and shooting that in black and white
Mhm.
would like makes the image pop so much more
Oh,
than
okay. I see what you mean,
than
yeah.
than color does, you know.
Yeah.
And you know that one photo with I'm not sure if I sent it to you, but the 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 second batch of photos that I sent with the girl, the wavy hair.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
like
that
it's
kind
just
yeah, I see what you because it's funny you say that too, because I think looking back at it now, you really wouldn't have gotten that same kinda, like, emotion if you
feeling,
didn't do a
yeah,
black and white. Like, I feel like the black it's so true, and, like, even what's cool too is the fact that I mean, I don't know if I was telling you this too, but I think, like, looking at the photos being like that, it's in New York City and stuff like that, like, the idea of black and white, I feel like almost goes into that, like, grittiness feel that the city has in general, Like, I feel like black
exactly.
and white is such a staple of New York City where and especially the fact that because we're Gen Z or whatever, we're such like the most recent generation, and black and white is such an old concept or whatever with photos. Kind of combining those two just makes it so cool because it's like timeless versus like what the present is, like past and present coming together in a sense where you kind of create this really cool feeling with the photos you have. So yeah, no, that was it was really I don't know. I really enjoyed the work you did, and obviously me and like us between me, Ethan, and John, like when you sent us the photos in the group chat, we're like, this is fucking awesome. Like what you
Thanks,
did and stuff
man.
like that. And that's I don't know. It was really cool. But I mean, and then too in general, like you doing photography and stuff, do you kind of like do you have at least ideas of like I mean, do you do projects like this a lot where it's like you'll have like a specific topic for a list of photos and you kind of do it, or is it more you just do sporadic, like a couple of photos, maybe like you're in the park one day and you're like, actually, I kind of want to do some photos today, and like you just do sporadic, taking
Yeah,
photos and all
I
that.
just I like to keep my camera on me.
Okay, yeah,
Whenever I feel inspired, whenever I I see a picture,
hmm,
I'm gonna go make that picture.
yeah,
Like I would I would be walking.
mhm.
Like let me try to think of I could be in the gym, you know.
Yeah, just
I
doing,
have my
yeah,
camera on me. If I see a picture
yeah,
that'll look good, I will go make that picture. Like I'm not gonna let whatever I'm doing like
mhm.
get in the way of making a picture.
Yeah.
It's like you would never get that moment back,
That's
you
so,
know?
yeah,
And
that's,
it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like taking photos is like it's kind of like freezing time for
mhm,
like a little bit.
yeah.
So it's just like, yeah,
Well, that's what's so cool about, I think, photography specifically, yeah, because like that idea of like you're saying freezing time, where if you ever photography, like if you have a camera on it whenever, like at all times or whatever, you'll always be able to just whenever you want take it out and do a shot. Like I feel like there's so many other forms of art where like if you're painting or something like that, or like you're creating music or I don't know, doing something like that, you can't just like stop in a moment, take a picture, and there you go. Like you can then you just have that piece of work and you can like do whatever you want with it. I feel like with photography though, like as long as you have your camera on you, whenever you want, whatever you do, you can just take it out whenever, and you're like, this looks dope. I'm gonna take a picture of it right now, and then you're good to go.
that,
Um, I don't know. That's really, and then I mean, does it seem like because you're from Maryland originally, right?
yes.
Um, in terms of like Maryland versus New York and photography, I guess like because the setting is very different, maybe I guess Maryland's more suburban. I don't know where you live specifically in Maryland, but compared to that and then to New York City, does it seem like New York City seem like is a way better place for what you want to do with photography? Or does it seem like I guess the atmosphere back home in Maryland or whatever stands out better?
Um, I feel like it's a lot easier in the city.
Yeah.
Because I relate to a lot of things in the city, like, and I feel more inspired.
Mhm.
Um, I see more things that I relate to, so I want to, and that drives me to to go make pictures. Here, it's just like everything's slow. Um, you have to like walk or like no, you'd have to drive to
Mhm.
like go to DC, a little more populated place, take pictures of people. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm more of a like street photographer in the
Mhm.
day, and then like at night I go to a party or whatever,
Mhm.
make some pictures. I guess in that sense, it's kind of like the city because
Yeah.
there's
But
there's kids.
mhm.
I can make pictures, all that shit. But like I don't know, like New York is a definitely more interesting place to make photos.
Yeah, there is definitely a lot more, and even like I'm in the suburbs here in Massachusetts and like or Mass or whatever, and it's similar to you, I guess, where like if you were to do take pictures, like you'd have to drive to a specific spot, I think, to really get it done. But whereas like the city, especially for like street photography, like what you do and stuff, like just being able to go outside whenever you want, and the chance of you seeing something like just that seems very like a possibility for photography. It's so easy, like it's so quick to get on that, and the locations too to do it is just like it's between like Central Park or Washington Square Park or Hudson Riverside. So like there's so many different locations where you can work with it, where
Exactly.
yeah, I feel like especially for what you're doing it seems like it stands out more. um
You can also like the thing with New York City is like you kind of got the best of both worlds. Like
mhm.
although you're in the city, like you can go to Central Park and get some nice landscape photos.
Yeah, it's
You
true.
could you could go to Coney Island and go to the beach and grab some photos there.
Yeah.
And it's like Here it's only like you only get the best of one world.
Yeah, it's very one-sided in that. I mean, is there
Yeah,
a spot in the city that you find yourself going back to the most for photos, or is it there's nothing really stood
East
out yet?
Village.
East Village, really? Okay, yeah. What
Yeah.
sticks out for that? Like, is it more just the whole energy there, or is it?
The energy, the vibe, um, the people. It's just like the
Yeah,
fashion, like everything's just popping over there. Like anyone in Pace could tell you, like East Village undefeated. Like everyone loves the East Village. Um, especially the art scene down there. It's quite amazing.
oh, okay. So it really
So
sticks out in that, yeah.
yeah,
And I mean, because you said people too, like that really like that kind of helps East Village wise. And it made me think of the photo you have on your Instagram of the guy playing the flute, which I think is really it's awesome. I think it was the flute. But like when you take pictures of people too, though, is it like do they usually seem very like open minded when they're like do you ask them like if do you mind if I take a picture, or is it more just doesn't really matter? I don't really know like photography wise if you like you have to like go up there and be like, hey, do you mind if I
I mean technically, since we're on public grounds, I
yeah.
don't have to ask for permission.
Mhm.
But sometimes people are like, "Bro, why are you taking my picture?"
Yeah.
Like, and all that. But like, I try not to ask because if I ask,
There's a
kind of like
chance.
ruins the moment.
Yeah, I
So it's
feel
just
that.
like I'll try to get the picture first and then give them like a little backstory of what I do, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, there it was this one dude I remember. It was on it was near Times Square, and it was kind of like the flute dude, except this guy was playing the saxophone.
Oh, okay.
My boy flipped out, bro. Like he was like, "Why are you taking my picture?" Blah 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 blah. I was like, "Bro, calm down. It's not that deep. Like, it's just a picture."
I don't know. It's funny. I feel like what's cool is that I don't know. I feel like the city too. Like I'm not even surprised that someone. It seems like I actually I went to LA a couple weeks ago, right? And it seemed like the energy that what I noticed energy there versus New York is that New York felt a lot more like I don't know, not like real, but like I feel like the chance of you meeting someone like that who like tells you up front like what the hell are you doing? I don't want like then it gets really in your face about that. It seems like New York has the better chance of that happening,
Yeah.
which is funny. But no, but that's why because I was curious like if like usually instances with you taking pictures of people is like that in the city or like if it's very, but it's funny that I guess it kind of like depends I guess who you interact with and stuff. Um,
I guess it's yeah. I guess the younger generation, they don't really care. Like
Yeah, like, I feel like if
they're
you're in
always
Washington
like,
Square Park
"Oh,
yeah, like, if you're in Washington Square Park and it was, like, late, like, I don't know, like, the weekend or whatever, when everyone comes out and hangs out there, no one's gonna care. No one's gonna be
yeah."
like,
Everyone
everyone's
just
probably too
drunk as
fucked
shit.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, like
They're not gonna care.
good time.
Yeah, I mean, have you met, though, like, have you interacted with any other, photographers and stuff, NYU-wise or, like, FIT, like, those kinda like, other schools in the area in the city and stuff? And, like, have you, like, kinda done projects with them or just, like, talked to them inspiration-wise and stuff?
Yeah, I've talked to some kids from Colombia actually.
Okay.
Um, they also have this kind of creative group, kind of like F14.
Mhm,
Um, and we're curating a shoot right now. Um, so there's that. I also met some just New York City heads, like
mhm.
some kids from Brooklyn who do photo stuff. Which is really cool. Like seeing that's the thing that's so cool about it. Like I, I'm I'm exposed to so much more creative
Mhm.
minds.
Yeah.
Like there's this one kid in particular who does photos and uh like videography work. His
Mhm.
name is Josiah Powers. You guys should check him out for sure. He's dope.
Okay, bet, yeah.
Um like kids like that. It's just like young kids, seeing
Mhm.
them work and put out such dope content is just so inspirational. Like,
Yeah.
just makes me want to go out and like get work done.
Yeah, I feel that. And I feel like it's, going back to the whole city thing, it just makes like if we were in our suburbs, right? Like I remember high school wise, like there was creative people, but I feel like there was a very, I don't know, it didn't seem as like big or as compelling to like reach out to as it is in the city. Like I feel like the city, New York City wise, like there's so much a better chance of you going out and just like being inspired by some, because there's so many creators there, and especially our age and stuff, and like obviously the ones you were telling about right then, like I don't know, it seems like a mecca for that, and I feel like everyone knows that, but I guess for our generation specifically too, like if you're a creator and like you want to, I don't know, just make art like to get the best inspiration, it seems like like New York City wise at least, it's just there's so much potential there for that, um, which is really cool. I don't know. At least that's what
So much.
that's yeah, that's literally F14 why we between wanting to be a safe haven for that stuff and just like meeting people like you. It was like it seemed like there was something lacking that wasn't for that, I guess,
Yeah.
because there's so many cool minds out there that just have like coolest ideas and stuff. So yeah.
And it's crazy
Uh,
when you combine those minds,
yeah.
it's crazy what you can get.
Like some awesome stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, all right. Well, sweet. I mean, I really, I was really happy at least, sit down and talk to you about, the whole project and stuff and your whole like process and all that. Cause I think you especially too, like I really wanted to get you on the podcast too, like past couple months or whatever, since we kind of have the project going. Cause I haven't had a photographer yet on the podcast and stuff. And, obviously seeing
First
you a ton
blood.
anyway, cause you roomed with Jordan, who's also a close friend of mine or whatever. It had to happen. So, but yeah, so everyone, make sure to check out. I'm gonna leave your like social media handles and your website and stuff, and like the link to the bio and stuff like that, so everyone can check that out. And then everyone that's listening, make sure to check out Joel's project, which is going to come out the second week of July. I want to say it's going to be July. We'll set some dates though, more specifically on F14 Entertainment Instagram. But yeah, make sure to check that stuff out. And yeah, thanks for coming on, obviously again, Joel. And yeah,